What's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim here. For those who don't know me, my name is Tim Young, aka Tim the Credit Tech, and I'm the founder and the CEO of Ace Credit Repair. I'm here today because I want to first introduce myself to those who don't know me, don't know what I do, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll find some value and you'll be able to take away, something that you can use for yourself or even just have some encouragement. So just to start again, my name is Tim Young, aka Tim the Credit Tech. I'm a husband, I'm a new dad, and I have my own business. Still working to help move things along for my business, and I'm on a credit journey to help not only those around me but those who I've never met, those who are in a position where their credit is struggling, whether you're a single mom or you're just a guy who's just trying to understand credit better. I'm here to help. Okay. Just to give you an idea of my backstory and, how I got started. I got started in credit repair in 2022. But prior to that, I didn't really have any knowledge or much information about credit. I didn't really know all of the ins and outs. And as a matter of fact, I actually had just a few struggles, nothing too crazy. Just to start it off, really the only thing that I had in terms of credit was I had car loans, right? I had two cars that I had, and I had one credit card, just one credit card. After that, or other than that, I didn't really have much knowledge of what credit was. My family didn't really know what to tell me about credit, and my dad would always say, "Just pay your bills on time," and that's really all I knew. Just pay your bills. If you can't pay in cash, if you can't afford it, don't overextend yourself, that kind of thing. Leading up to, I would say, leading up to 2022, I had some ups and downs with my credit. Like I said, I didn't really know how it worked. I just knew that I had this one credit card and maybe a couple of store credit cards, but I didn't really know how to build my credit. I didn't know the importance of building credit. I didn't even know the importance of having options with credit or why it mattered moving forward. What got me started was I had this $500 credit card, right? And I was super excited because it was my first actual credit card. I got a Capital One Quicksilver card, and they started me out with $500. I was like, oh man, I didn't have to put up money. I've heard people have to put up money for their secured cards. I didn't have to put anything up. It was just $500. I was like, all right, cool. I'll start with that. And I had that card for about a year or two, give or take. And I got some increases. And I got stuck at about $850 for my credit limit. Now, for me, when I got the card, I had asked around, like, what kind of card do you have, and how much is your limit? And I'm hearing things like, oh, I got $1,000 limit, I got a $2,500 limit, I got a $3,750 limit, I have a 5,000, I have a 10,000, I have a $50,000 limit. I'm like, wait, how do you even work that? That doesn't even make sense. So I said, man, okay, I need to see if I can get that too. Now, along the way, my wife, her credit was great. Like, she was in the 700s. For me, just for clarity, I was in the mid sixes. I had gone from the high fives to the low to mid sixes. Again, I didn't really know anything about credit, so I didn't know why I was where I was at and what had me there in the first place. I just knew, hey, like my dad said, pay your bills on time. Another perk I made sure to take advantage of is using my credit card to pay my bills to get the points. And, I was excited because I would get like a couple $100 here and there. Anyway, so my wife, her credit was great. And I told her, I was like, babe, you should go ahead and get a credit card because you should, have at least something. Man, the first car she applied for, she got $7,000. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. I said, man, I want that. Then she applied for another card, and man, just the limits were up there. I said, man, okay. I should go ahead and take advantage too. Like, if she's getting money, I should be able to get some money, right? I got scared and I waited before I took a chance to get anything, right? Now, again, not knowing how credit works and how using your card, like I always paid on the due date. I never really understood anything else outside of the due date. Like, hey, if I owe, $25, I gotta pay $25. If I have $100 on there and it says the minimum, I need to at least pay the minimum, right? So that's all I knew. I waited. I didn't apply for another card, and yeah, I didn't apply for another card, and my score went down. I went from, at that point I was in the 680s or so, and I had dropped down all the way back to the 630s. I'm like, what's going on? Now, some of you out there might use Credit Karma, and you might not know how Credit Karma works, but I'll just say this. If your card is, maxed out, or let's say you're utilizing over 30%, you're going to get hit pretty hard. And of course, I was putting my bills on my card and I was paying it off. Just I only paid, what I could on the due date, and then I would pay it off, as time went on. So I didn't understand like what happened at that time at that time frame. I say, man, I got really discouraged. And this was around November, December in 2021. And I said, okay, maybe it wasn't in the cards for me. No pun intended, right? No pun intended. Fast forward, January 2022 came, and I just wanted an increase on my current card that I had. I was at 850. I said, you know what? If I can just get to 1,000 or get over 1,000, like I would feel so much better. I would feel so much better. And I got denied. Now, this wasn't the first time. Now, it took some time for me to get from 500 to 850, but man, it was like a struggle just to get there. And when I got denied and they told me the reasoning, I'll be honest, I didn't even look at the reason, because I got denied again. And this was probably my third time or fourth time that I got denied. And it was like, man, my credit score went down and I requested an increase and I got denied. Maybe there's no hope. Maybe this is just where my life is. Maybe this is just how my life is going to be. Maybe I don't need credit. Maybe I'll never really have real credit, and this is just what it is. And I was very resigned. I felt discouraged. I felt like I didn't have anything to account for or to amount up to. I felt like I was nothing, to be honest. Now, I don't know if you all have ever felt this way before. And I know it's just credit, right? But man, like for me, this was almost everything, because like I said, my wife got approved for a decent amount. And I'm like, how do I not, if I'm not too far from where she is on her credit side? How come I can't, And that was really rough. So in February of 2022, I was watching a YouTube video, and this guy I was watching, he did trading, like, Forex and all that kind of stuff. And that's how he made his, millions and so on. And he had some old videos, and he talked about credit in one of his old videos. I was like, you know what? That's an old video. I don't want to watch it. It's old. It's not up to date. We're in 2022. That was like a 2018, 2019 video. I don't want to watch it. Okay. He dropped a new credit video that month. I said, all right, you know what? Well, I like the guy, so let me watch and see what he has to say. And then he went on about how credit really saved his life and changed his life. How he went from a really low dead end job, he was getting paid like $7 an hour or something like that, to deliver packages like hours away, and it just didn't make sense for him. And he got his credit fixed up, and he got access to credit cards, and he learned how to trade Forex, indices, all that kind of stuff. And he was able to use his credit to fund his trading account. And it was like, it just took off from there. He was able to make tons of money. all because of credit. He was able to use credit as an investment, and no one ever told me that you can use credit as an investment, meaning put the money up for your investment using your credit card or access to the credit that you have. Never heard of this before. And so I was like, man, okay. And at the end of the video, long story short, I'll give you a long story short. What he pretty much said was, don't give up, try again, keep on trying until you get there. And so I had noticed after I watched the video that my credit score had gone back up again, still not knowing why. Still didn't understand why. Still didn't know what. I didn't know anything about factors or utilization. I didn't know none of that. I mean, people told me, but it didn't make sense to me. So I didn't know why my credit had jumped up. Cool, I'm back in the 680s or so. And I said, well, you know what? Maybe this is the time. I was like, I don't know. Then I prayed and I said, you know what, God, I appreciate you helping me out and giving me a good mind to like really think on this stuff. And what dropped in my spirit that day was that night, even it was because it was late at night. It was about 10 o'clock at night. Was, am I willing to do the work to get back to where I'm at or beyond? So back to the 680s plus. If I apply for this card and my score just plummets, I don't know why I thought it was going to go all the way down to like 300. And I kind of figured it would not. But again, I don't know anything. Like, I don't know how this stuff is going to work. So I'm like, man, like, what if something bad happens? And I said, you know what? Am I willing to do the work to get myself back up to where I am if I take this chance? I said, you know what? I am. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And so I said, okay, I'm going to apply for this card. I applied for the Discover It card that night. And when I applied, I was nervous. My hands were sweaty. My hands were shaking. My heart was palpitating, all the nervousness stuff, right? And I applied, sent in an application, cool. And they said, all right, thank you for your application. We're going to get back to you and respond in 24 to 48 hours if you got approved or not and what the amount was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to wait for them to get back to me. Like all these thoughts were running through my head. It was horrible. It's like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to, I already threw my hat out there, but it was one of those things where, you already threw your hat in the ring. You can't take it back. So I said, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just going to roll with the punches. I told my wife about it, and she was like, all right, hope all goes well, And I guess I just started looking up more stuff and just trying to figure out like, some next steps just in case I didn't get approved. And I got an email it was around 11:08, 11:10, 11:15, something like that. And it said, congratulations, you got approved. I was like, okay, cool. How much did I get approved for? And guys, when I tell you the number that I saw, it was like the ceiling blew off. The roof just blew off. I got approved for $10,000 of credit. And I said, oh my gosh. And I just threw my hands up, started thanking God. I was like, God, I thank you. Oh my goodness, da, da, da. And I was so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe like this doesn't even make sense. Why did I get approved for 10,000 when before I only got approved for $500? Like what happened? Oh my gosh, And then I was like, wait, how come I don't know the answers? And then I got a little frustrated. I was like, man, I'm sure I'm not the only one who has no idea how this stuff works. And I started doing some research. Like, why did I get approved for this amount of credit? And, what actually caused my credit to drop and what caused it to rise up again? And I got curious and I was like, man, well, if I got approved for this, how much more can I get approved for? And I went ahead and applied for another card. I got approved for, it was only 2,500. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got approved for 10,000. Then I got approved for only 2,500, 2,500. Why did I get approved for so little? And then I found out that one of my store cards had a late payment. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember having a late payment. Then I realized that that store card was linked to the bank, and I was like, so all this stuff started to unfold. Like I know I'm throwing out a lot, but it was wild just this journey I was on. And it was about a month apart from both applications, but man, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is so crazy that all of these things just play a part, and I had no idea, and nobody taught me this stuff. Like I thank my parents for helping to raise me to think at least decent about my money and remember not to overspend and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't teach me about credit, and they have their experience of what credit was, and my siblings have experience of what credit is, and the people around me, and so on. And like I said, I got frustrated. I said, man, I know I'm not the only one who's dealing with this. And I'm frustrated because nobody's teaching us. And so I said, if nothing else, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn because I want to make the difference for people. I want to help them to understand how credit works. And I want them to understand that so long as they don't give up, there's always hope, right? For me, what that first card did, taking the chance, what that did for me was it gave me hope again. And it also helped me to understand that I actually have access. It helped me to understand that I don't have to limit myself in terms of taking a chance. Like whatever I'm concerned about in front of my face, on the other end of that, on the other side of the obstacle, on the other side of the challenge, on the other side is the victory that you're looking for. And it's also the access that's waiting for you to obtain it. So since then, just to wrap it up, since then, I started a credit repair company. I've been able to help people overcome their credit challenges. And I'm talking about late payments, collections, charge offs. I've helped people get access to credit. One of my very first clients, she had a credit card for 15 years. It was only $500, but her bank never increased it for 15 years. And I told her, I'm going to help you, and we're going to figure this out, and we're going to see exactly what you need in order to get your next card to be much higher. Within about a month to 3 months, give or take, about 90 days, I was able to help her get a $2,500 card, right? So crazy. And she was like, oh my gosh, Tim, I haven't had this much. Like, I almost don't even know what to do. I said, well, don't spend it all, right? Because we want to be responsible with our money, right? We want to be faithful over the few things so that we can be ruler over many. We want to be good stewards, right? So yeah, and she was super thankful, super excited, very happy that I was able to help her. She never thought she'd be able to see this level. And I asked her, I said, what is it that you really want? She said, ultimately, I want to be able to get into a house. I said, my goal, my hope, my desire for you is that you get that house. And I'm going to do everything that I can to help you to get there. Um, Funny enough, she went ahead and asked, hey, Timmy, I want to go ahead and get another card. I said, okay, well, let's look at some options. And of course, this was over a period of time. But her next card was $7,000. Like, what? She got more than double, almost triple of what she got the first go around, right? I've helped other friends of mine get a 10,000, a 20,000, 25,000. Just not even trying hard, not even putting in a lot of effort, just kind of doing it here and there. I've been able to help raise almost $300,000 in a short time frame, in about less than 2 years. And when I say not even trying, I really mean not even trying, because anybody, if they play their cards right, they can actually get up to 300,000 in less than a year. Now that's another video for another time, but it goes to show that anything is possible. And so long as you're willing to learn, so long as you're willing to take action and you're willing to take a chance, anything is possible. Just, one more, a client recently, I helped him get his business properly set up so that he could get business credit. And, he went to the bank, he spoke to my connection, and they were able to get him about $37,500. And I didn't realize this until we talked about it. I was able to help raise over 45,000, about 45 plus $1,000 for this one guy. But the 37,500 was off of one visit. And it's like, man, that was trying. Like, that was just one visit with actual attempts to help him out. So I say all that to say, just like, the sky's the limit. And no matter what, like I said, so long as you don't give up, so long as you keep pushing, I don't care if it's collections, bankruptcy, charge off, late payments, inaccurate accounts. If you're dealing with any of these things, guys, you don't have to do it by yourself. Again, I'm here. I've helped people through these things. And if you're that someone who is struggling with your credit, whether it is you just want to know the basics, or you want to clean up your report, or you want to get your report ready for funding, or you just want to, have some confidence knowing that your report, your credit profile is healthy enough where you can literally do just about whatever you want. You can apply for a loan or a car loan, or get a credit card, a line of credit, get a home, whatever it is. If you're in these positions, I'm more than happy to help you guys. And I just want to say thank you all for whoever has made it to the end of this video. I'll be more than happy to post more content on my channel. Again, I want to post not only credit stuff, but I also want to encourage you as well along your credit journey. So if you want to, stay tuned and keep track of, the videos that I post, make sure you make sure you throw a comment in the comment section, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Again, guys, my name is Tim, aka Tim the Credit Tech, and I'm signing off. Until next time, guys.